Delta R22000, I believe. And I put these in, I think I put these in 5 times already. And I love them because it's all inclusive. It's a mixer and diverter in one brass unit. And of course you have a mud guard that goes on there, attaches to there. I think is that way. So that's your parameter of your tile. Any mud guard you have, the edge, outside edge, is your finished wall. For the R22000, the Delta R22000, so the hot and the cold, obviously, left is your hot, right is your cold. Those are the inlets for your water supply. Then when you come out, you have 3 possibilities. So you could have 3 different fixtures going out at the same time. However, if you're only going to use 2, this right side has to be capped off, and they come with a brass cap. So that will get sweated in as well. It's the right side that has to be capped off. All right, so this is a temperature control adjustment for the Delta R22000. Is it R22000? Yeah, I think it's R22000. I've had some difficulty adjusting this, and even reading the directions really doesn't help you much. In fact, it's kind of counterintuitive to what is going on, meaning that the adjustment for this is usually factory set, and if you read the directions, which I generally don't, the directions actually tell you to put it at the cold limit, which is all the way, and I'm going to show you in a minute what that means, but it tells you put it at the cold limit. When you put it at the cold limit, you're going to get maybe 100 degrees, maybe 105 degrees at best. So you're going to see it. So a couple of things. First of all, this cover for this temperature control is plastic. And the only way you're going to get this out, if you put one of these in already, is the opposite end of the handle. You're just going to push up and kind of squeeze it out because it clips in and it's plastic. And that's the little grommet, the little indentation that goes on to this opposite indentation. So you have to kind of be familiar with the setup of this curvature. If you just look at this curvature and look at the little 3 tabs, right? And then you see the notch out. The notch out is going to tell you where you're going to put that in. So the clear area with the 1 tab here and the cutout, the clear area and the 1 tab here. That's how it goes in. It will not go in the other way. And you must put this in part first, right? So that's just going to hook into there, and then it's just going to snap right in. And that's how easy it is to take it off and take it on. So if you pay attention to that, you can't go wrong. If you don't pay attention to it, you're going to be spending a lot of time and anguish trying to get this off. So this does 2 things. This loosens both this tab, which is your temperature control, and your temperature control handle, and your temperature control, what am I going to call this? I don't know the technical term, but it is the adjustment ring, which is right behind here. And so once this first part comes off, okay, so the adjustment ring, if you actually read the directions, and I'm going to show you a close-up shot of this, there is a C. It's going to be hard to see on here. There's a C, and then down here there's an H, so hot and cold. And if you see the stop here, there's a stop, right? So what the directions tell you is to bring this notch, which is like a little gear type of thing, bring this notch down to here, which will have the C here at 3 o'clock. Okay, that's factory setting anti-scald device. And so I believe, if I read the directions right, every one of these little ticks here are a 4-degree temperature change. Is it 4 degree? So if you do the math, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 12 or 14 of these little ticks, right? So if you move this temperature, and you can actually take it out, I have little needle nose pliers, but you can actually pull it out. It comes out very easily, but it's a little harder to get back in if all these little hash marks don't match up. But if you do it by the instruction manual, you're going to get a factory setting for anti-scald, which is not going to get you the temperature you want. If you're going to want 120, 130 or whatever, you're going to have to go up all these little tick marks, and it tells you specifically to go up. As I said, the directions tell you it's 4 degrees for every one of these little tick marks. But what I found the easiest way is where that C is about 12 o'clock. That's going to get you the maximum temperature. So whatever your water heater happens to be set on is going to come out at this point right here. And so again, you could probably, I've adjusted this 4 or 5 different ways. I've adjusted it halfway between this stop, because you see the bottom stop is here, well, the stop here, and so the bottom end of that stop is here, the top end of that stop is here, and I've adjusted it in the middle, I've adjusted it all the way down. As you know, the directions said, I brought this out and brought it all the way down to the stop, and it wasn't working. None of these worked except for this one, which is the C at about 12 o'clock, about 12:05 or so, is going to get you the maximum hot water. But you have to be careful with this, because again, it's only going to go in one way. It has to line up. It has to line up just so. So we're at about 12 o'clock. I just moved it one little tick mark. So we're about 12 o'clock. Once that's in there, and you're going to hold that in with one hand, then you're going to be able to get, and this is only going to go in 2 different directions because of that little, you know, the way that it's designed, has that little square thing on it. So it's going to only go in one of 2 directions. And the way that I had it in before, I believe, was this way, so that your handle lines up correctly. Was it that way? I think it was that way. Yeah. And then, so you're holding both of them. It's a little funny to have to do the 2 of these simultaneously, but maybe it was this way. Yeah, it was that way. So that's the way that it goes back in. And wherever I put my screw, there it is. Now, the other thing that's kind of strange about this is, as I said, this holds all these 2 parts in, including the handle itself. So if you screw this down, if you use an electric screwdriver, or a cordless screwdriver, and you tighten it down too much, your handle is going to bind up on this back plate here. So you just have to know that when you turn it, like right now it's pretty tight. When you turn this screw, you're not trying to tighten it down as much as you can. That's about right. That's a little difficult, but that'll get a little looser over time. So after you're done with that, and the screw is going to be loose. Understand, everybody wants to screw it down tight as possible, but it even tells you on there, do not over tighten. And when I say don't over tighten, it feels like you need to tighten it more, but don't. That's not going to work for you. So, as I said, this little cutout here matches up to this, and then this empty part matches up to that. It's easy as that, but it has to go in from the backward part first, and then just snap in. So it's really pretty easy. I know I probably confused a lot of people, but the easiest thing to do is that adjustment ring that I show you, that white ring, have that part at 12 o'clock. The C on that is at 12 o'clock. That's going to get you maximum hot temperature on this control. And you know, if for whatever reason that you read the directions, you're not going to get anything close to the hot temperature that you want. But there you go. Hope that helps. This is the Delta R22000. It's a great valve. I love it a lot. I love the fact that everything's inclusive. There's not a diverter. The diverter is integrated, and the temperature control, which you don't get with every valve, and the volume and all that stuff. So yeah, for whatever it's worth, hope that helps somebody. Hey, if you enjoyed that video and you learned something, consider being a Patreon member. $5, $10, $15 a month would help me greatly produce more videos. I make nothing from YouTube at all. If you're gonna call me for advice, please donate $50 for 30 minutes. My link to my PayPal and my Patreon account is down below. And if you haven't already,
hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get immediate notifications as soon as I post a video. And thank you very much for your support.